In this bonus learning objective, we're going to look at the remaining trig functions. So we were learning in Unit 10 about SOHCAHTOA. We saw there was actually 6 trig functions, and not just sine, cosine, and tangent. There's 3 more. We're going to do the same thing with our unit circle. So here are 3 new definitions. So when we were doing SOHCAHTOA, secant is the opposite of cosine. So how do you do the opposite of a fraction? You just do 1 over that thing, because this is actually just the reciprocal of cosine. So if we have a cosine value, we just flip it, and that gives us secant. Sine is related to cosecant, so that's the same. Cotangent is related to tangent, so it's also the same. But we also know that tangent from our last learning objective is sine over cosine. So cotangent is going to be the opposite. We flip it, it's cosine over sine. So for cotangent, you could do it kind of either way. But since I have tangent not memorized, it's actually more convenient for me for cotangent to just do it that way. All right, so let's find secant of 7 pi over 4. And some people have these things memorized and they can just do it right away. I just don't have it memorized. I just know that secant is 1 over cosine. And then using my unit circle, I know that cosine of 7 pi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2. And then 1 divided by a fraction is its reciprocal. So I'm going to flip this fraction from the square root of 2 over 2 to 2 over the square root of 2. And this is technically the right answer, but again, it's not fully simplified because there's a square root on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by that square root. The top, I just multiply them. The bottom, because I'm multiplying 2 square roots, they cancel. And then I can cancel out these 2's. My final answer is just the square root of 2. All right, so the secant of 7 pi over 4 is just the square root of 2. All right, but you just do that using this new definition for secant and just simplifying. All right, cotangent of pi over 2. Again, the definition I'm going to use is that cotangent is cosine of that angle over sine of that angle. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Sine of pi over 2 is 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. All right, so the cotangent of pi over 2 is just 0. All right, cosecant of 5 pi over 6. Cosecant is related to sine, so this is 1 over sine of 5 pi over 6. Sine of 5 pi over 6 is 1/2. And then 1 divided by a fraction, you just flip it to its reciprocal. This becomes 2 over 1, which is 2. So my final answer is just 2. All right, and here's one for you to try and find secant of pi over 3. And the final answer you should get is 2. This was very similar to the last example we did. All right, secant is 1 over cosine. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. That simplifies down to 2. As a this learning objective, you're going to have to do problems on delta math. The problems on delta math are going to have all 6 trig functions. So it's going to be sine, cosine, tangent, as well as cosecant, secant, and cotangent mixed in. So in order to do that, to make sure you actually see enough problems of different types, you're going to do 15 total problems. But you're going to have the unit circle there to help you. So the sine, cosine ones should go really quickly. And the new ones, again, it's just a bunch of simplifying. But as long as you have those new definitions, you can do those ones as well.